Hi, friends. Prepared Suburbanite back at you with my thoughts for this particular week and a couple of questions that I hope maybe somebody out there can answer. Has anybody heard anything recently about the Cuban refugees? If you remember 6-8 months ago, there was a whole bunch of news reporting about Cubans that were trying to escape the communist regime in Cuba and trying to make their way here. And all of a sudden, just it dried up and the news went away. And I spent some time this morning over coffee trying to find any news, and I really couldn't pin anything down. And the second thing that I haven't heard much about recently are all the unloaded containers on the cargo ships in places off the coast in Los Angeles and San Diego and different places around the country. Did they get them all unloaded? And now is the supply crisis over? I don't know. Anyway, I always get weird thoughts in my head when I'm thinking about putting up my next video. But I want to dedicate this one to the Democrats and the liberals. Well, not necessarily the liberals entirely, but the leftists for sure, and the wonderful plan that they've got to shift this country to electric vehicles. So stick around. So the liberal, not necessarily the liberals, but certainly the leftists, some liberals, but pretty much all the Democrats, and particularly the current administration and the cabinet that's here that's really pushing very hard. But I got to give them credit. They are absolutely consistent in their plan to do away with fossil fuels and try to convert this country to electric vehicles. Let me just kind of go over some of the things that I've noticed recently. And you have too, that the gas prices are pretty much out of control right now. Here in North Carolina, we're up about $4.10 to $4.15 a gallon. And I think I know what the biggest cause is, but the current administration and the Democrats in Congress want to blame big oil companies, threaten them with windfall profit taxes and all that. That's not where the problem is. Those folks are entitled to make a profit, and as their costs go up, I expect that the costs at the pump will go up, but they're not trying to gouge anybody, I don't think. Yeah, there's an awful lot of talk, an awful lot of speculation about all the dirty deeds that they're doing and using the profits, record-breaking profits, to buy back their shares and all that. I'm not buying it. There are other real reasons, like shutting down our domestic oil production, like closing pipelines, making it extraordinarily difficult for the oil companies to drill on public land. And I think that's got an awful lot to do with the current price increases that we see at the pump. Now they want to insult us even more and endanger national security by buying oil from our enemies. I guess Iran, Venezuela, a communist country down there, they're in negotiations right now to buy oil that we used to produce. We used to be a net exporter, and now we are a net importer. Makes no sense to me. I think it's an insult to the intelligence of the American people. I think it's an extraordinarily dangerous thing to do, when the simple answer would be to begin to deregulate and open up domestic oil production so that we are not beholden to communist dictatorships, terrorist countries that have vowed to take us out. So, yeah, buying oil from enemies is really a great incentive to get me to buy a new $60,000 electric vehicle. The other thing that they're doing is obviously depleting the strategic oil reserves. I did a video on that just recently about how it all kind of fits together and all that. And makes no sense to me right now, just because the price is up, inflationary due to real cause type issues, that we should tap into our strategic oil reserves. They're there as part of our defense strategy, part of our protection strategy, and that it really only needs to be tapped into if we're under attack, or if we have to go to war someplace. We've got the backup in our strategic oil reserves. Releasing it to the general public the way they're going to do it, back to the refineries to refine more oil, just means that there's going to be an emptiness in the oil reserve that needs to be filled back up again. And at what price that's going to be, I don't think anybody's going to be able to guess what it's going to be like 6 months from now. They're also incentivizing companies, foreign companies, to build electric vehicle plants here in the United States. We just had the announcement within the last few days that right here in North Carolina, we're going to have a Vietnamese electric vehicle production company set up shop within probably an hour or so of my house right here. And I'm a little concerned about what all that is, but the incentives, the tax breaks, the loans or the guarantees, whatever they're offering this Vietnamese company to locate their production stuff here, it really is cause for concern. So being a prepper, I see the direction that this is all going in, and trying to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, trying to get us to be more dependent on electric vehicles. I've decided to add, when the day comes that I buy an electric vehicle or an electric lawnmower or an electric tractor or an electric anything, that I'm going to add to my preps a bucket that I can fill up with electricity, so when I'm out on a highway and I run out of electricity, I can just pour that right into my vehicle. Hey, this is the Prepared Suburbanite, reminding you to be prepared always, and I'll see you all on the next video.